Sri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Jai Shri Ram. Welcome to our next episode in our complete reading of Srimad Valmiki Ramayana. We are at the fag end of Ayodhyakanda now. In the previous episode, we saw the conversation between Anasuya Mata and Sitamaa. Now we are entering a phase where Sitamaa is going to tell about her Swayamvara to Anasuya Mata. Anasuya Mata has requested Sitamaa to tell about her Swayamvara, and here Sitamaa is explaining about her Swayamvara. Then Sitamaa says, Midhilaadipatir Viro Janako Nama Dharmavit Kshatradharme Hyabhirato Nyayata Sasti Medinim. The king of Mithila, Janaka Maharaja, he followed the Kshatriya Dharma and he was ruling the country very well. One day he was trying to plow the land and suddenly I appeared in front of him. In many places they show that she comes out of a box which was found in that land. The box actually stops the moment of the plow, so they dig to find out what is stopping the moment of the plow, and they find a box, and in the box Sitamaa is there. So that's what is the story which many people tell us. Sitamaa is also telling the same here. So Janaka Maharaja took me and he started telling to everyone that I am his daughter. But O Anasuyama, Antariksheja Vakukta Pratima Manushikila Evametanna Pratave Dharmena Tanayatava. Then Akashavani told my father that she is not a lady of Manushya Jati. She is not a lady of a human race. She is a Devatastri. This is what the Akashavani told Janaka Maharaja. But since you found it while you were plowing the land, she is your daughter also. So these two things were informed to Janaka Maharaja by Akashavani, and from there my father took me as a daughter and he took very good care of me. And Janaka Maharaja, he gave me to his wife, and my mother, she took very good care of me. So she is referring to Janaka Maharaja's wife as her mother now. And I grew up in that household. When I got the age to get married, my father started feeling very, very sad. He was behaving as if a very rich man all of a sudden lost all his money and became a daridra. That way my father started behaving. And then he decided to do a Swayamvara because he was not able to fix on a guy who could marry me. He was not getting a guy with all the good qualities he thought that the guy should have in order for him to marry me. That sort of guy was not being available. Hence, my father called for a Swayamvara, and in the Swayamvara, he brought out the Shivadhanush and said, anyone who can lift the Shivadhanush and who can tie the string to the bow, who can tie a string to the Shivadhanush, that person would marry my daughter. Lot of people came. It was not a single event as a Swayamvara. So Janaka Maharaj just put that there. Whoever wanted to come, they could come and they could try their hand at it, and then they could go. So this happened for many days. Many people came, they saw the Dhanush, they tried to lift it, they were not able to do it, and hence they all used to leave. Like this, many days were over, and one day Sri Ramachandra came to see a yajna that my father was performing. Vishwamitra brought them over there, and then Vishwamitra told about Sri Ramachandra and Lakshmana to my father, and he asked my father to show the Dhanush. My father brought out the Dhanush, and when Sri Ramachandra lifted it very, very easily, he was trying to string the bow, and then the bow broke out, the Shivadhanush broke out, and there was a huge sound that came out of it. Many people call it Omkara. And then my father quickly brought out the Jalakalasha and said, Sri Ramachandra, you are supposed to marry her. This is what I have decided. Then Sri Ramachandra said, he cannot marry me without his father accepting it. He said, I just came to see this Dhanush, but nobody told me about this marriage. You will have to take the permission from my father, who is Dasharatha Maharaja. And then my father contacted Dasharatha Maharaja. He accepted, and then my father got me married to Sri Ramachandra. I have a sister called Urmila. She got married to Lakshmana. Like this, our marriages happened, and from that way, in the path of Dharma, I got married to Sri Ramachandra, and from there, I have been following him. I have a lot of anuraga, I have a lot of love for him, and I'm always following the Dharma. Then Anasuyama again takes Sitamaa close to her, hugs her, kisses her on the forehead, and then she says, Oh Sita, I am very very happy that I have heard your story. So you will have to stay here for night because the night has started. Now you go to Sri Ramachandra. I am giving you the permission. Go back to him and oh Sita, but you will have to wear all these clothes that I gave you, wear all these ornaments, wear these malas, use these cosmetics that I gave you just in front of me. I really want to see how beautiful you would look in all these ornaments. Sitama immediately obeys. She wears those clothes, she wears those ornaments, and looking at her, Anasuyama becomes extremely happy. She touches the feet, she bows her head and does the namaskara, and from there she goes to Sri Ramachandra. Sri Ramachandra looks at her and she shows all the new things, all the gifts she got. She shows them to Sri Ramachandra and says, "See what all I got." Sri Ramachandra looks at all that. He also feels very happy, and that night they stay in that Rishi ashramam. The next morning, Sri Ramachandra does his Kalakritya and he does his snana and then does the Agnihotra, and from there he goes to all the rishis and munis and takes leave from them. And then those rishis and munis tell, okay, if you are moving ahead from this forest, from here, if you are moving ahead, you will be entering a very huge forest, and the forest there is not a very safe place. It's a place filled with a lot of threats, a lot of troubles. Here, a lot of Rakshasas live, a lot of wild animals live. So, O Sri Ramachandra, please be very, very careful. Never ever leave Saucha there. Please be very, very careful. If you see these Rakshasas, even if they see someone eating Uchishta, which is, in Hindi we call it Jhuta, right? Even if they see anyone eating that much, those people will come and kill because the Asaucha has touched the body. So please be very, very careful. So we know a path. We go through that path to get our food, which mostly is fruits. So there is a safe path through which we can go. So kindly go in that path. It will be a little good for you if you go in that. And itivataihi pranjalibhihi tapasvibhihi dvijaihi krutaswastya yanah parantapaha swastya yanah parantapaha vanam sabharya privivesa raghavah salakshmana surya ivabhramandalam. So Sri Ramachandra, who is a Shatru Samharaka, who kills the Shatrus, he bowed down to all the munis there and he takes a swastyayana, means the blessing. He took the blessings of all of them. The way sun enters into a galaxy of clouds or a huge number of clouds, that way Sri Ramachandra entered into that forest. So this is end of Sarga 119 of Ayodhyakanda. Since Sri Ramachandra has entered the forests now completely, the next Sarga would be Aranyakanda with the blessings of Sadguru, my Guru Sahasnara Maharaj, and with the Nirhetuka Krupa of Sri Ramachandra, we were able to complete Ayodhyakanda. And in the next episode, with Sri Ramachandra's grace, with the blessings of my Sadguru, Sri Sahasnara Maharaj Swami, we will enter Aranyakanda. Sarve bhavantu sukhinah, sarve santu niramayaah, sarve bhadrani pasyantu, ma kaschid dukkha bhag bhavet. Om सर्वं श्री साई महाराज स्वामी चरणारविंदार्पणमस्तु। स्वस्ति। जय श्री राम।